will be jumping on. But thank you guys so much for, oh good, more people, I see your faces. Thank you guys so much for joining in on this call tonight. I know we haven't done a team call in a while. And this one I'm super excited about. Ellie, she said not to do anything cool, but you all know Ellie, because as soon as I posted that she was gonna talk, everyone was like, Ellie, and like for good reason. Me and Ellie actually were on the advisory board last year and got to know each other, and she's honestly the best, and I love learning from her, and I can't wait to hear all that she has to say. Ellie, can you unmute yourself? Or I can find you, actually.
Yes, I'm unmuted.
You're muted. Something cool about Ellie is she just moved to Japan. She's actually like in the middle of the ocean right now in Okinawa. And it's Wednesday over there. So she is taking it's morning and she is joining us from the future to kind of talk to us about the ultimate customer experience. So I'm just going to turn it over to you and you can go from there.
Awesome. That was perfect. I'm glad you didn't do anything too like sparkly or shiny.
Very basic, very basic.
She's like, how should I introduce you? I was like, I don't know, just say my first and last name. That's good enough. Good morning, everybody from the future, except I don't get to see new releases or anything, so it's really not that cool. I don't think I'll ever get used to, like, how many of you guys go live or you go on your social media and you're like, happy Monday or happy, now I like, it's really uncomfortable because I don't know what to say. I built my life, I feel like, on the East Coast. I built my Zaya business on the East Coast. And it's just really weird to be like, hey, Wednesday, Tuesday night. I don't know, it's super strange, but I'm excited to be on the call tonight. And I'm so glad that she's recording it because I just did this call with my team. So I got the kinks out. So my team got the crappy version of this and you guys are gonna get a way better experience, which is really great. I had practice. I'm going to talk about the customer experience tonight, and this is something I feel really strongly about because without our customers, obviously, you know, I know all of you are your best customer, just like I am my best customer, but without the other ones, we really would have no business. But I was thinking about like the word experience tonight, and even like on a call like this, I hope that you guys have some type of experience with me. You may not know me personally, maybe you like follow me on Instagram, or maybe we've had the luxury of like talking and connecting, but I always hope that you can feel super relaxed and like yourself. I am all about being like a badass CEO, but I'm also really big on like joking and sarcasm and like having more fun than I am about being serious. So I hope you guys feel that way on the call. Sometimes on these things, it's weird to be the one talking because I don't want you to feel like I'm talking at you. So if you feel the need to say something unfiltered, please say it. But talking about the customer experience, I wanted to bring up some stuff right away. Hopefully you guys know how to use the chat. There is a chat here. I know some of you guys might be on your phone, and it is true. I do like to call people out on video. I used to do it in the States mostly because it is awkward to talk to yourself. In Japan, I'm just lonely. So now I've resorted to guilt tripping people into turning their cameras on because I don't get to see anybody here. So I'm like, I don't have any friends. I don't know anybody. I'm a military spouse. I'm super pregnant. So just like feel bad for me and turn your camera on because I don't get to see people all the time. So now it's like, it's way more effective. People are like a lot more in tune with being guilt tripped than they are with like me saying turn your camera on. So I'm gonna keep going with that, but it is actually how I feel. It's so good to see faces. Like honestly, it's so hot here. The only time you see faces here is like in the morning and late at night because it is so warm and nobody leaves their houses. But okay, back to the thing that you guys are here for. Talking about the customer experience, I want to share something and I want to use the chat. So it's good you guys, look at all these faces now. Aw, I wonder what else I can guilt trip people into today. Okay, using the chat, I want you guys to share, obviously Zaya, so you can't include Zaya, don't say Zaya. But if you guys were to think about like a company or a place that you like to eat at or like shop at, what is like what's like a favorite place you like to shop because of the experience that you have there? Or like, what's a favorite place that you like to go eat, or coffee shops or whatever? Like, share Target is also my favorite. Share some places that you guys love on the side here. We don't have Target here, so that makes me want to cry a little bit. Nordstrom. I've seen so much Nordstrom. I did this as a poll on my Instagram. I asked people, like, where's your favorite place to shop, or like, you know, places to visit because of the experience. And a lot of Nordstroms popped up. Also Chick-fil-A's popped up. Okay, Chick-fil-A, Target, Nordstrom. I don't know what Rook is. I've on my last call, people said local boutiques, Wegmans. I was on the East Coast recently. We lived in Quantico, and I feel like I don't love Wegmans the way everybody else does. But everybody loves Wegmans. Starbucks. We do have those here, but it's really tricky to order. My daughter asks for egg and protein boxes here, and they don't have them here in Japan, so she's always super pissed when we go. Okay, I'm looking at all these places you guys listed. Without like typing a novel, like, share what are the reasons you guys like these places. Like, what is it about the customer experience that you like? What is it about the atmosphere that you like? Like, why do you love going to these places? Genuine interaction, customer is always right. Wait, what did you write, Remy, for the place that you liked? Friendly, home goods. Home goods, I do miss home goods. Chick-fil-A is mom heaven. They do everything for you and then they bless you. Local customer experience, amazing service, great time. I'm out of breath because I'm pregnant. Efficiency. That's so good. Okay, so you guys are reading what's on the side here. A lot of like my team, when I was doing this, a lot of people said the same things. Friendly, smiley, like happy. Those were big ones that came up for me too. And I want you guys to think about your Zaya business and the customer experience that you are all providing. And I want you to look at these words and grab a few that you guys are loving, that, like, you know, when you see something, you just like relate to it and you attach to it. You're like, yeah, that I like that. Write down some of the stuff that you guys are loving, or, you know, start doing a little deep diving into these companies that you guys love. You know, do a little homework and start learning about, you know, how they're training their people, how their business is being taught to people who come into their organizations, because these are all things that they're taught. You know, like, at the end of the day, I want to believe that everybody's a great person and they're just going to treat people amazing. But a lot of these are businesses that take time and they put resources and effort into creating this experience for you. I mean, millions of dollars is spent on this stuff. If you don't believe that Starbucks is spending boku bucks to even think about like what it's like when you walk in. I mean, I love that Starbucks is like dimly lit. It's not like bright and like hospital-like. It's very like dim and relaxing. The colors that they've picked, I can like totally chill. The music that they play like makes you feel like creative and like a hipster and like I'm cooler than I really am. You know, like all of that stuff is thought about. The way that you feel when you walk into these places, there are people sitting in boardrooms making a lot of money to create this experience for you. And the good news is we all only invested $395, unless you're Sarah and you paid like the $800 starter kit when she started. But like, we've all invested less than $1,000 into our business, and we get to create this without having to go through that extensive process if we just decide to take ownership over it. So a lot of these feelings that you guys are like sharing that you love, all that you have to do as the CEO of your Zaya business is take ownership over these words, take ownership over this experience that you're providing people, because these are ways that I'm assuming you want people to feel when they shop with you. Or even if they're not shopping with you, I'm gonna guess that even if just somebody talks to you, they're gonna want, you want them to feel this way. You want them to feel like appreciative and welcomed, and that like you care, and that you want to talk to them and get to know them, and that it's easy and simple. I saw somebody say efficiency, and I'm so glad you brought that up. Before my husband and I moved to Japan, we had, for about 3 years actually, way back in the day when we couldn't afford anything because we're in debt and, you know, doing that whole lifestyle. We walked into a Lovesac store, which is the best place to walk in when you have no money. So we walked into a Lovesac store. We're like, man, it'd be so cool to buy something from Lovesac someday. Their stuff's so neat. Most of you guys know them for like the big puff ball cushion things that they have. Well, they also make furniture. They make couches, and their couches are like adult Legos. And when we got married and we started moving all the time, we're like, man, a Lovesac couch would be so cool because we move all the time and we could just stack it up in the corner of a moving truck and bring this like really cool thing. We're like, oh, you know, maybe someday. Well, before we left, right when like coronavirus and stuff started happening, a lot of people were shopping online. And so I was looking at Lovesacs. They had a big sale. I don't remember what holiday was going on when I saw this. They had a big sale. And of course I was like clicking through it, and then their like customer service bubble popped up online. And so I'm like talking to this person who ends up texting me. And so he's like a manager of one of the stores in the DC area. And he's texting me, he's asking me what I'm interested in. And that he finds out that I'm also a toddler mom. Sorry guys. He finds out that I really wanted like a leather, hey, you can sit here like this with your mouth shut. Here. Okay, so he finds out that I wanted a leather cover. Well, when coronavirus hit, the leather stopped shipping. So they had this big, great sale going on, but I couldn't get the leather covers. I had never seen them before. And he like goes into the warehouse, wherever this is, starts sending me pictures of what they look like, because I'd never seen them. And then the minute the company opened up shipping again for these leather options, he texted me. He's like, hey, we're able to do this again. You'd be able to get it. Hey, you'd be able to get it before you guys moved. All this stuff. We weren't going to buy one and we bought one. Hey, look at me. Baba, look at me. Can you go sit down just for a little bit? Or if you're going to sit here, can you not sing that song? I'm sure everybody knows what PJ Masks is if they have children. Maybe you don't. I've just learned about PJ Masks. So we bought the couch, okay? The moral of the story is we bought the couch. But we bought the couch because he made it so freaking easy to buy the couch. And we were in a place where we could finally buy the couch, but he took care of all of it for me. He made it so easy. And I want you guys to think about, relatable. I want you guys to think about the experience that you guys are giving people. And I love that word so much because how we meet people, you know, this guy met me on a website. I know we can't like chat with our customers when they go to our website, but I'm trying not to read your comments because otherwise I get really sidetracked. My brain doesn't work. He met me through this little virtual chat, and he took me through this little funnel of his own customer experience that he wanted to provide me with. He made it so easy, super nice. He went out of his way to text me these pictures. And before I knew it, I was like, babe, I just bought a couch. I bought the couch. And it's what brings me to my next point. I want you guys to think about, you know, we're talking about experience and feel good and I'm distracted and it's fun. But I want you guys to think about like, how do I take the customer experience and organize it as the business owner? How do you organize this process that we're talking about? So I want to talk about funnels. This is like, Sarah seems to think I'm a genius, but when she really sees like how I broke this down, it's really not that exciting. But I want you guys to think of the way you guys meet people, and I want you to think about each of those interactions as funnels. Okay, so he met me through a virtual chat. You guys are meeting customers through Facebook parties. You're meeting them maybe in person. You're meeting them out and about in your regular life. You're meeting them on social media. You might meet them through referrals, your VIP group. You might meet them, maybe your first interaction with somebody is through an email you send. I don't know. There's all these ways that you meet people. And if we picture a funnel, like the shape of a funnel, you guys have to let me know. I'm sitting here in this golf dress, but the shorts don't fit me, so I don't have the shorts on. So if you can see anything, I need you to tell me because that's really awkward. I'm doing a lot of this motion and I'm like, crap, where's the camera pointed? So that widest part of the funnel is how you guys are meeting people. That's the first way that they come into you and what you're all about, okay? So how you meet people is the top of that funnel, and how they go through that funnel is 100% up to you. What is the ultimate goal? Just to make it easy, let's say we break this into 2 categories. 3, let's do 3. You either meet them on social media, you meet them in person, or you meet them in a Facebook party. Those seem to be like big ways that a lot of us as Zaya reps meet people. So let's pretend we all have these 3 funnels. If you want to add more because you meet people other ways, awesome. These are the 3 ways you meet people. So let's say you meet somebody on social media. You connect, maybe you guys DM, you Facebook message, whatever. What's the next process of that experience with that person? You know, for me, I want to get that person into a VIP group, or I want them in a party maybe that I have. You know, like those are 2 great ways that I could funnel somebody into something of mine. You know, it might be weird if we're not talking about Zaya, it might be weird to be like, I decided to do a party that I'm doing. That's sort of strange. But maybe I want them to like stay connected to me. So I meet them through Instagram and I at least get them into my VIP group. That's sort of that next less wide part of the funnel, okay? Once they're in that VIP group, you know, what is that experience that I want them to have? I want them to understand what my VIP group is. So is it easy for them to understand what that is once they're in there? You know, for me in my VIP group, I gotta take a breath. In my VIP group, I have like an announcement post that's pinned to the top, and it's a video of me. It's really short. It's like less than 3 minutes. I'm like, hey, I'm Ellie. Welcome to my VIP group. Here's what my VIP group is about. Here's what you can like expect in my group. So right away, if I wanted to, and if I'm like on top of my game, I can tag them in that video so that they know what that is, that place is that I added to them, and it's easy for them to understand. I always have the link to like my current monthly shop right in that main announcement post too. So if they ever want to shop, it should be easy to just click it and they can go. You guys all know you could post your link like 8 million times and people still can't find it. But my hope is that it's very easy for them to come into my VIP group and understand what's going on there. Once they're in the group though, and I've maybe welcomed them and showed them how easy it is to use the group, what kind of like experience do I want them to have in there? Do I want them to think they were just added to a sales group, or am I providing more value for them in there? Am I reaching out in any sort of way? For me, I have questions that people answer before they like can actually join that group. I'm sure many of you have joined private Facebook groups where you answer questions before they let you in, at least military spouses. That's every group for us. Is your husband actually stationed here? What branch of the military? Like, it's the dumbest stuff. But I ask for their email. I ask like, are they already a Zaya rep? Because I do have a lot of Zaya reps who I like add in there. And then I ask like some of their interests, like maybe they're into fitness, or maybe they're into business, or maybe they're, I don't know, whatever, like share some of your interests. Maybe they're into cats, I don't know, but maybe they're into PJ Masks. But I like to ask these questions really quick, because before I approve them, I can just get a really quick snapshot, like this person is not a rep that I'm dealing with. I can, with their email, maybe I have an email thing that I can add them to. But once I add them, I can send them a quick message like, hey, I'm so glad you're in my VIP group. I saw you love cats. I have a cat. This is just an example, but that's that whole funnel. So I met them on social media, got them into my VIP group, made it easy for them to understand what's in there. And now I'm trying to like add value. You know, the very bottom tippy point of the funnel, the skinniest part, ultimately is whatever the goal is that you have for that space. So whatever experience ultimately I want somebody to have in my VIP group, that's like the end game. But you guys can think of this in other ways too. Like if you meet somebody in person, the widest part of the funnel, what process do you want to take them through? An experience do you want them to have when they meet you in person? You know, we don't want to make people feel like a number. We don't want to make this feel like a transaction. And some of you guys that are doing this more as for fun and a hobby, like keep it those things, keep it fun, keep it light, you know. And for those of you guys who are like business oriented numbers, my black and white people, like just understand that this process and these experiences, ultimately what it equates to is your monthly PV and your lifetime personal volume. That's what all of this equates to if you're like my business person. The other thing I think I said is parties. You know, if you meet somebody in a party, what's that process? Like once you've met them through a party, what's next for them? And what does that experience look like? Let me quickly answer a couple of these if I can. People ever get turned off by the questions? I could make that a question, I guess, and find out before they come in. Are you turned off by me asking these questions? I have no idea. I think the ones who don't want to answer them just don't. And usually what I try to do then is see, like, do we have mutual friends? Especially if it's a rep, they're probably not going to answer these questions. I actually think though for the email one, I think I say something about like doing monthly giveaways or something like that, so that there's like an incentive to be on there. I don't take every email and add it to my email list. People have to add themselves to it. So I'm not just pulling stuff over if people don't want it. Ultimately, they could unsubscribe if they wanted to, but I think if they don't want to answer it, they just don't answer it. Okay, so I want to show you guys something. Do I have permission to share my screen from here, Sarah? Am I able to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to take you into the inner workings of my text messages. All right. Here's an example. Can you guys see this? Yes? Okay. This is like a visual for my visual people. I'm just taking all my words and making it more visual for you. Funnel of opportunity, you could change this into like customer experience. This is just something I had as an example, but you can see where the widest part of this funnel is that very first touch that I have with like a party person. Following them on, having them follow me on social media in some way, getting them in my VIP group, having them host a party, and ultimately becoming a rep. That's just an example, just to give you guys like a visual of what it looks like to create something like this. And sometimes it's nice to have a visual like this because you could print this out, and it's just a good reminder. I read a cool quote today that said, "Isn't it odd how much fatter a book gets when you've read it several times?" It's just like these calls, these training calls, like it's, you know, you guys have probably heard this. I'm not saying anything like earth shattering or like, oh my God, like my whole customer experience is going to change because Ellie just said this really neat thing. But it's like the more times you unpack things and listen to them, it's like the more little things you find that you want to do, or like the more little things you learn and things like that. So hopefully that's all you guys are experiencing right now, is you're hearing something again, or you're being reminded of something that you want to do in your business with your customers. But this is like a cool visual if somebody is a visual person. But I want to show you guys something else. So for my numbers people, the reason that I think the experience is so crucial and could take somebody from somebody you met in person to a top leader on your team is because when you look at these funnels that you've created, that you've taken time and you're owning the experience. You guys talked about the words and the feelings associated with loving certain companies and places that you guys go.
Leave it open.
When you guys take like ownership of that and create these little funnels, and you stay on that, what happens is suddenly that person that became a rep now gets to grow and develop from something you expose them to into something that they may not have ever thought possible. So now you get to take somebody that you met on the streets or in a Facebook party, and you have this amazing experience that you want them to have, and you don't even know what door that's going to open for them. So suddenly they became a rep. Now they're having a launch party. Now they're creating this customer experience for other people. They become a team member, they're building, and now they're a leader. And like, it's pretty crazy when you start to like look at it like that. I think like this whole customer experience thing is really neat, but it could also be something that's opening a door to somebody, their life, or an opportunity they were looking for that you may not have even known. And I think that's why the experience is so crucial. I mean, yeah, okay. What else do I have? Let's see here. I talked about that. What questions do you guys have? I'm like, can I end it here? I think I touched everything I wanted to. My notes are all over the place, but the experience that we provide people is, awesome. I mean, I could go deep dive into VIP groups and the experience that you have, but the way that you leave people feeling, what is it? Maya Angelou, does she say this? I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Like, that quote's so great. And I think, you know, as you guys experience bringing customers in and new people in, like, it's not just about Wednesday releases. It's not just about the restocks. It's not just about the transaction. It's not just about the sale. There's so much more that we can add to people's lives. And I'm sure you guys can all agree, somebody on your team or an upline or a downline or sideline or whatever, somebody's added something into your life that goes beyond a tank top or a pair of leggings. And that's really what the experience is about. Of course, you could go into even further training on, you know, are you sending thank yous? How are you appreciating people? Do you have a loyalty rewards you know, whatever. You could go into all that stuff, but you don't get so caught up in those details until you've decided, hey, when I meet somebody on the streets, when I meet somebody in a party, when I meet somebody on social media, here's how I want them to feel like when they interact with me. I want them to, you know, have the experience that I have at Nordstrom, you know. I don't know if you guys have ever shopped through Free People before. I never had. I purchased something through Free People. So easy. Like, purchasing from them is easy. Exchanging with them is easy. I know that's like a really touchy subject. Returning with them is easy. I'm almost like nervous to explain how easy it was. But because of the ease of that whole experience, I was like, I will shop with them again. That was awesome. I know I shouldn't have probably even brought that up. That was like, ooh, you really killed it with that part. But like, think about the way you guys have felt and how you've come back to brands because of the experience that you had with them. And what's neat for us is we don't have to rely on Zaya to give our customers these kinds of experience. Of course, there's like some logistical things that we cannot do that are out of our control, but a lot of what we do for our customers is 100% on us. Zaya is not sitting in a boardroom right now saying, here's how we want our reps to make their customers feel. They're not doing that. We get to decide that part and we get to take ownership of that part of our business. Okay, I'm gonna answer questions. How do you keep track of where you are in the funnel with people? I don't. I have Monday meetings with myself and I have an assistant. And I think we just revisit this conversation a lot. It'd be crazy to think I could keep track of every single customer, but I do have a customer, like we call them nurturing campaigns. So when a customer does shop with me, I do have a place where they get added to an email system that is following up with them, making sure that they understand how to contact me if they need anything, things like that. But I have this conversation with myself often. So I don't want to go in the bathroom. Okay, do you need me to help you take your undies off? Here, there you go, just another day. Did I tell you guys I had my glucose test today too? Like, why am I doing this again? So much work. But I wouldn't say I have like this spreadsheet. I'm not a spreadsheet person. I am not like an attention to detail person, but I have the conversation with myself often to make sure the part that I can control, I'm still doing in my business. So, you know, like for me, if somebody comes to my Instagram or we're talking on Zoom, I already explained to you like how I want somebody to feel. So I'm constantly revisiting that on Mondays when I do have a meeting. I'm like, am I still in tune with this? Am I still aligned with this? Do I need to make changes? Like, if I were to have a third party, which sometimes this is cool, I've had people who are not customers of mine, but are like business mentors. I've had them like purchase from me. Well, actually I like sent them stuff, but I've had them like explain to me what the process felt like. I've also had people come into my team page who aren't on my team. I've had people go into my VIP group who aren't customers and tell me if it's easy to understand or not. So I've done little things like that to sort of like check in with myself, like little secret shoppers. Like I've asked people to do that for me, but I don't have a system or like an Excel sheet where I'm like, okay. But if you're just starting, that's probably something really easy to track. Like if you guys are prospecting or, you know, you're just getting going where the number is smaller, but just know you may not be able to maintain tracking all of that. It might be like an energy sucker more than it is life-giving to you. Why create? Great. Why create? Sorry, you guys have to see my Little toddler running around naked. Madison, what are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, why do you create a VIP group compared to having a good Facebook page? Because in our private VIP groups, I can do a lot more than I can do publicly. So if you're brand new, we can't publicly discount or do like promos or things like that. If I ever want to do like fun things for my customers, that has to be in a private group. So I love being able to offer that to people. Sometimes I'll give away like my host rewards, or I've done giveaways where, or like things like free shipping, or the month of July, I feel like I'm like just throwing my Zaya business at people. I'm like, it's my birthday, take $5 off. But I can't do that publicly. So just keeping that really real. That's why I prefer a VIP group. I still have a Facebook page. I don't really use it as like, I have my personal one. I post stuff there, but I don't use my business page very much. I use Instagram more. But like, do what you like, whatever you like to do, that's where you're going to excel, because you like to do it. So you're going to show up there more often. You know, don't force yourself to do something just because somebody said it's a good idea. What do you do if you're stuck somewhere in the funnel? Help. You mean like, as a, like the person is stuck somewhere, like they're not moving forward through your process, I'm guessing is the question. I mean, okay, that's what I thought. I would think about just like connection. At the end of the day, we can create these processes for people, and we can say, you know, this is the perfect experience I want somebody to have, and they can follow the steps accordingly, and it can go beautifully, and they become a rep, and now they're, you know, this massive leader on my team. But at the end of the day, without the human connection side of this business, it's easy to hope, you know, post and pray. Who said that? Blair said that once at a conference. Like, it's easy to just like post and pray that it's all going to work, but we still are people, and we want that human connection. So if you feel like somebody's that you really you were excited about, like, this is an amazing customer, or you just really like want to make sure that they're feeling like they're taken care of, just connect on the human level, like send a text, reach out through a messenger, like break up the monotonous structure of it and just be a human being, I guess is what I would say for that. Who do you use for business coach? Sorry, unrelated. I use a couple. Their names are John and Carrie Elder. They have a coaching program called Next Level Coaching. John was my business coach through Dave Ramsey. I did business coaching through Entre Leadership, which is a part of Dave Ramsey's organization. If you didn't know, I like Dave Ramsey. I'm a huge Dave Ramsey fan. But I met John through going to Dave Ramsey's conference in San Diego, actually. And then he has like business coaching called Entre Leadership. I was the only network marketer in my group. But I was in a mastermind with like physicians, people who own like tons of veterinary offices. Like, I'm like, hi, I'm Ellie. I'm like 30 something years old, and I run a really successful legging business. It was really cool though. But anyway, John broke away, and he and his wife have their own, she does doTERRA, but he and his wife have their own coaching business now that I share it with my team too. But if you want me to connect you to Shelby, to him and his wife, Carrie, I can just send me a message after this. What do you send in your emails? I can show you. I'll show you as soon as I answer these. Angel, don't let me forget to show you this. Can you give us an example about what your VIP group, yep, I can show you that too. I can screen share with you guys. Also, I missed the part about how and when you request their email. Yes, Kat. 4 kids. Oh, makes my stomach hurt. I don't think I'm anymore. Like, I don't think my stomach can stretch anymore. I'm thinking about 4 kids. You are a superhero. Sarah, don't you have that many children? Okay, so my Facebook group, my VIP group, when you're setting it up in your settings, I think if you go to the little 3 dots at the top, you can actually have it. I'll just show you. Let me answer the rest of these before I screen share. Yes, Dave Ramsey. Okay, let me screen share some stuff with you guys. Okay, here's my VIP group. Can you guys see this? Okay, when you go to more up at the top, you can go to edit group settings. And if you scroll down, membership requests, you can click where it says ask questions. And these are the questions that I ask. How do you like to work out? Get exclusive VIP access, leave your email here. Have you ever considered becoming a Zaya Active rep? So those are the questions I have. But that's how you find it. You just go to more, edit group settings, and the questions. How do I actually, wait. How do I find the rest of the questions you guys just asked? Whoops. Where'd you go? Oh, here it is. Participants. Where's the chat? I know there's a chat somewhere here. Hold on. Stop share. I got to find it again. What else did you want to see? My emails. I'll show you my email. My emails, and was there something else? Oh, my welcome video. Okay. Sorry, you guys. Where'd you go? Share screen. Bear with me here. Okay. My welcome video. So here's my group. One person wants to join. I wonder if it's one of you guys. Is it one of you guys? Do you want to join my VIP group? That's going to be really funny if it is. Okay. So announcements. See how I have 4? I like to have like 1 or 2. I don't like to have a lot of announcements because I would be confused if I joined a group and there were 85 announcements. I'd be like, I don't. Some people maybe read it all. I don't. But announcements is where I kind of keep everything. Right now I have a lot because it's my birthday month. So I'm like, here's all the things. But when you go to, this is the video. It's less than 3 minutes. I basically say, hey, I'm Ellie. I'm so glad you're here. I'm really into fitness and working out and wellness. So it would be weird if I didn't talk about that stuff as an activewear rep. That's why I wanted to be a part of Zaya. So I'm always talking about like fitness and wellness and personal development and things like that. And I think people who are active in my group know that. So I do like to ask people like where they're at in their journey. And then I just let them know like how they can find everything. So if they click announcements, the only other post I have in here is this one. So this I just reset every single month. And this always stays at the top of my page. So it always has the link for that month. If they have a July birthday, I tell them to let me know that their birthday is in July. I explain my loyalty rewards program. Basically, I send them a $50 gift card every time they spend $500. Thank you. And then I have like a little, I do have a wait list right now. This was when like, lovebirds were the end of the world. Let me show you guys really quickly. I use Flowdesk for my email. I know we have an app, and I know as a leader, I should tell you all about how to do this through your app, but I am not 100% sure. So I am not going to pretend to know those answers. But I know you can do email campaigns or like drip campaigns through our Zaya app. If you didn't know, they have like Verb app training calls like monthly, I believe. But I use Flowdesk. I think it's pretty, and I like how easy it is to use. I do pay $38 a month. Just be very upfront about that with you guys. There are other services like Constant Contact or MailChimp. There's things like that. Some people actually can use these services for free up until your email list gets to be a certain size and you're charged. So don't feel like this is something you have to tackle and chew off tonight, but I'm just going to show you guys what mine looks like. So when I have a new customer join or purchase, not join, when I have a new customer purchase, they get added to my little email list for that. So right away, I think the day that I add them, they get added, and then they get an email from me right away that looks like this. Get excited for your new Zaya. Can't wait for it to be delivered. Our return policy, how they can join my VIP group. I tell them to post a picture of them and their stuff. I share like how they can host a party. And it's attached to my Instagram, so they just get a signature and some photos from the gram. But then they also get 3 days later, they get another one from me. This all goes out automatically. So I'm not like sitting in here doing this myself. This was built and then it just goes. Talks about joining my VIP group again if they're not in there. Talks about their stuff should have already shipped to you, and you'll receive a tracking email. I gave them a freebie. I built these little cute calendars for anybody who likes calendars. They can have free calendars. And they can learn about becoming a rep. That's like 3 days after they purchase from me. Another 3 days, I basically ask them to either give me a review or let me know, like, did they love it, things like that. This is usually where I get people writing me and saying, hey, I need to exchange it or return it. So that's kind of nice. And then 7 days later, they're just getting a big thank you from me that says thank you. And it also talks to them about using, becoming a rep or being a host. I'm always pulling them back into my VIP group though. That's a big one for me, is having them be in there. I don't use Constant Contact for emails, but I know a lot of people that do. Constant Contact or MailChimp, or I'll join your group and watch. Do you send launch emails through stuff? Those stuff is selling quickly? Yes. Actually, my VIP group gets all of the new releases first, because I feel like if they're going to be exclusive in my VIP group, they should get the first look. So they'll get all the new releases before my social media does, or before my emails do. But then after I post in my VIP group, I'll post in any parties going on, then I'll send an email, and then I'll share on my Instagram. Those are kind of the places that I do it. Anything else? I feel like I just said a lot to you guys. I can. Do you want me to dive into that just for like 5 minutes? I know that's not what this is about. Currently, Wednesdays, obviously my virtual assistant does Wednesdays because I'm sleeping during Wednesdays. So my Wednesdays are real time. So they stay East Coast time. Actually, that's one of the first things that I got help with, because I felt like I would like be out and about and I'm like, oh my God, it's Wednesday, I totally forgot. And I would like be really behind. So I got a lot of help with Wednesdays at first, but then I did them myself for the longest time. Now that I live in another country, in like another time zone, she does Wednesdays for me. So she posts to my VIP group first, then she posts any parties that I have going on. She doesn't do my parties, but she does post Wednesday releases to my parties. And then she sends the email. But we do meet on Mondays. I mentioned that briefly, that I have a Monday meeting with myself. My virtual assistant's also there, so I'm not by myself 100%. So on Mondays, we do go through what the week looks like. I don't remember what she charged when I first started with her, but I take care of her better than anybody else in my family, because I never want her to leave me. So I'll just say that. She could charge me whatever she wanted. But I want to say a lot of them, when they're like virtual assistants who are doing some like random tasks, I feel like I've seen the lowest is like 15 an hour. I've seen all the way up to like 75 or 100 an hour. They usually have their own rates, virtual assistants do, so they'll tell you. And then she she sent, so when the customers purchase with me, I have it's just printed at home on a printer. It's like a little thank you card that just says thank you for your purchase. And it has my logo for it says we rise by lifting others. And then there's a hair tie on it. So she mails those out for me, because it's a lot easier to send mail from the US to a US address than it is for me to send it. They'll get it like at Christmas and be like, who did I purchase from? I don't know. So she does that for me too. But yeah, we actually just did a video. Regina, I don't know where you are on my screen. If you're friends with me on Facebook, I just posted a YouTube video about what me and Lorelai do together. I don't know why I didn't just refer you to that right away. There's a video. I get a lot of questions about this. So if you want to watch it, you can listen to it while you're like doing laundry or driving. It's a little lengthy. It's like 50 minutes, but yeah, I try to keep my hands on a lot of it, or I would get really complacent. If I tasked out all of that stuff to somebody else, I would go into autopilot, and I feel like I wouldn't be involved in my own business, and I do not like that feeling. So I get support and help where I really need it, and then I do keep the stuff that keeps me engaged. Do you have a link to the video, or what would we search Friday? I'll share it with you right here. I'll send it to Sarah. Can I send it to Sarah after this? Where do you guys go? I'll send it to Sarah. Anything else? Did I talk too much? Did you guys take some stuff away? You guys feel like you're gonna do crush customer service now, your customer experience? I was about a year into my business when I hired help. Now I'm a professional at asking for help. I am going to hire somebody here to mow my lawn. I am going to hire, I mean, if I could outsource a big chunk of my life, I would. Once I got over the whole fear of asking for help and how that really made me feel, I got really good at it. I have no shame in my asking for help game because I could not do this alone. You guys are welcome. Yay. Okay. Well, let me know if you guys have questions. I'm the easiest to contact on Instagram. I seem to live on Instagram more than anywhere else, but if you guys need anything or if I didn't answer anything clearly, let me know. And thank you for turning your cameras on. I haven't seen this many faces in like months, like literally months. I can't get this many people on my own team calls. So this is really exciting for me. Cool.
That's awesome. Ellie, you are amazing. And there is a reason you're at the top of this company. I just have to say, what I love about Ellie is she, and really Zaya as a whole, is I really, like, we do all have teams, but I think you'd be surprised how much sidelining I'm always talking to Ellie or Chrissy or other leaders and getting ideas, you know, on my team and off my team. And that's what's so cool is her coming on here and sharing all of her knowledge. And it is so true. There was a statistic one time that Sam told me, and that was 70, and this may not be as accurate right now because it was like 6 months ago, but 70% of our reps were customers first. And I think that that goes to show you like the customer experience is so important. But what's cool is it can also be individual. So if you see what Ellie's doing and you're like, oh, I can't do that, then take the first step to do that, right? Like start moving towards that. So I am super in awe at what it is that you do. You know that I tell you, you're like my professional friend that I always look to. So anyway, thank you so much for joining us on this call. And I do have the recording. As soon as it's done, I'll post it. Madison is really my favorite.
This kid. I don't know how, like, I just look at the ceiling as if God like lives in my ceiling. I'm like, are you sure you gave this person to the right adult? Like, I don't know if you did because, whoa.
I felt like that about my oldest. I was like, whoa, what? She needed to go to my sister is who she needed to go to. But now I'm telling you, she helps me take care of all the other children. So it's perfect. But thank you so much, honestly. And I will send out this recording when it's done and the video to the virtual assistant questions that you and Laura did. So
thank you.
Thank you, Ellie. Have a good night, you guys.
Bye.